The courtroom had never seen fury quite like this. Before Judge Judy Scheindlin, Police Chief Benjamin Brennan erupted, his face flushed deep red, his hand slicing through the air as if it were a weapon. Forward. Then came the words that would dismantle everything he had built. I own you. The silence that followed was suffocating. Every person in the room froze in place. A ripple of shock swept through the audience. For a bailiff Petrie Hawkins Bird instinctively stepped forward, ready to intervene. But Judge Judy remained perfectly still, her gaze sharpening into the piercing stare that had reduced seasoned attorneys to silence. This wasn't just a man losing control. This was a veteran of 25 years in law enforcement, the sitting chief of the Oakwood Police Department, shouting at a decorated detective in open court. Faye, the woman he had just humiliated, Detective Sarah Singania, sat trembling, as years of mistreatment seemed to crash over her all at once. What followed would not only shatter Brennan's career in the most public way imaginable, but would expose a long-buried history of misconduct, abuse, and corruption hidden behind authority. In that moment, Judge Judy was about to demonstrate that no title, no badge, form, and no rank could shield anyone from accountability in her courtroom. Benjamin Brennan had entered that courtroom earlier with the confidence of a man who had never been held accountable. At 52, with a quarter-century of service, he carried himself like a commander, inspecting his ranks. His uniform was immaculate, adorned with medals and commendations. His posture was rigid, commanding. For 5 years as chief, he had ruled his department with absolute authority, demanding loyalty and silencing dissent. Within Oakwood PD, he was untouchable. City officials avoided crossing him. The mayor praised him publicly. Complaints vanished without investigation. Brennan believed himself immune to consequences, and until now, nothing had proven him wrong. When he looked at Judge Judy, he saw just another person he could intimidate. He had no idea he was facing the one authority figure who could not be bent, threatened, or controlled. Across from him sat Detective Sarah Singania, a stark contrast. At 34, she had become the youngest detective in the department's history, earning her promotion through performance alone. Her record was unmatched. 47 major cases solved, the highest closure rate in the state. Multiple commendations for bravery. But to Brennan, none of that mattered. To him, she was simply a woman in a role he believed she did not deserve. Sarah sat, clutching a thick file, her hands visibly shaking. Exhaustion marked her face. As a single mother of 2 young daughters, the pressure of the legal battle had pushed her to the edge. Bills had piled up. Essentials had become luxuries. Her children asked questions she could barely answer. The ordeal had begun 3 years earlier, the day she earned her detective badge. Brennan had summoned her and suggested she transfer out, implying women didn't belong in investigative roles. When she refused and excelled, his behavior escalated. He belittled her in meetings, reassigned her cases, isolated her from colleagues, and placed her in dangerous situations without support. Emails carried dismissive and demeaning language. Her competence was questioned at every turn. When she formally reported harassment, retaliation came swiftly. She was placed on administrative leave, her income slashed. Internal affairs cleared Brennan without meaningful investigation. Now she stood on the brink of losing everything. Her lawsuit, seeking $87 in damages, was her final attempt to reclaim her livelihood. Brennan, meanwhile, sat with his attorney, confident and unmoved. He had never been defeated by a woman, and he didn't expect that to change. What he didn't realize was that Judge Judy had already examined every available record. She had uncovered details about his past that would soon unravel his entire defense. As proceedings began, Judge Judy immediately noticed Brennan's demeanor. He leaned back casually, addressing her without proper respect. "Good morning, Mom," he said, smiling faintly. "Once the facts are clear, this will look like another case of someone avoiding responsibility." Judge Judy raised an eyebrow. "Chief Brennan, you are here because Detective Singania alleges harassment, retaliation, and constructive termination. What is your response?" He dismissed the claims. "Policing is demanding. Not everyone is suited for it. This is about performance, not discrimination." When Sarah spoke, her voice trembled at first but steadied as she continued. She presented documentation, mails, evaluations, witness statements, detailing years of mistreatment. Judge Judy read one email aloud, questioning Brennan's language. He attempted to deflect, but the pattern was clear. More evidence followed. Mails addressing her with patronizing terms, performance reviews undermining her abilities, statements from colleagues confirming his behavior. Then came the email written after Sarah filed her complaint. Judge Judy had Brennan read it aloud. The contents revealed his intent to discredit her and push her out. The courtroom fell silent again. Judge Judy leaned forward. So within 24 hours of her complaint, you questioned her mental stability and discussed termination. That is retaliation. Brennan resisted, insisting it was protocol, but the questioning intensified. Statistics showed Sarah's superior performance. Brennan's arguments weakened. Then, pressed further, he lost control. He stood abruptly, his voice rising. He lashed out, not just at the case, but at the system, at the court, at everything he felt threatened by. Judge Judy warned him to stop. He didn't. Instead, he turned towards Sarah and unleashed the words that would seal his fate. "I own you. You work for me. You're nothing without that badge." Gasps echoed throughout the room. Sarah recoiled. The bailiff stepped in. Judge Judy remained still for a moment, then spoke with absolute authority. "Sit down, Chief Brennan." Now, he obeyed, shaken. What followed was devastating. Witnesses came forward, recounting similar experiences. A pattern of abuse became undeniable. Then Judge Judy revealed what her investigation had uncovered: past allegations, settlements, misconduct, and financial irregularities. Brennan's composure collapsed entirely. Finally, Judge Judy delivered her ruling. She found in favor of Detective Singania. Brennan was ordered to pay $87,000 in damages and an additional $150,000 in punitive compensation. Her words were sharp and final. "Your badge does not protect you here. Your position means nothing. What you've shown is a pattern of abuse and misconduct that has no place in law enforcement." The gavel struck. Within hours, footage of Brennan's outburst spread across the country. His career unraveled overnight. Investigations followed. Charges loomed, and Sarah, who had entered the courtroom overwhelmed and afraid, left with justice restored, future secured, and her voice finally heard.